Greetings, my dear friends. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the unit number one. There are few topics comes under the unit number one. The basic or fundamental topics of economics, the meaning of economics, and then scope and nature of economics. Economics is art or economic is a science. Then characteristics of economics, right? Meaning of business economics, then microeconomics, macroeconomics, positive and normative economics, time discounting factors and concepts, accounting profit and economic profit, then product possibility franchise PPF, then cost of efficiency. These are the topics which we are going to discuss under this session. Let us move one by one and discuss about these other topics. In the unit number one, these are the topics we are going to discuss. Wealth, welfare, scarcity, view of economics here, positive economics and normative economics. And then economic definitions, the scope and nature of economics, production possibility, curve or frontier, accounting profit and economic profit, incremental and marginal concept, time and discounting principles. The last one is concept of efficiency. These are the topics we will discuss here in this session. Let us move the first topic. What is wealth, welfare, and scarcity? Right. First one is what is wealth? What I mean by wealth? Wealth is nothing but accumulated assets that an individual possesses. So individual accumulated assets, a person's accumulated assets is called wealth of individual because we are taking the assets of individual for the calculation. So individual wealth. If you take one community accumulated assets, one group of people's accumulated assets, the accumulated assets of nation. So it depends on the list of assets taken for individual, individual wealth, for nation, nation wealth, for community, it is a community wealth. So wealth is a accumulated assets. What are the assets that comes under the accumulated assets? Assets is tangible or intangible. It includes the resource beyond the income. Beyond the income. Income is also one type of assets. Then other than income, you are taking movable and immovable assets like real estate, investment, home ownership, right? Here, real estate is a tangible assets and immovable assets, right? Here, these are the assets are included for the calculation of wealth. So what is wealth? Accumulated assets, some assets which the individual possesses is called individual assets, individual wealth. Next one, in economic goods means what? Goods is a common. Economic goods means the goods should have the money value, should have the worth. In short, wealth means what? Anything which has the value. Valueless goods will not be taken to calculate the wealth of individual. So the assets which is having value will be taken and added with the assets to calculate the wealth. It consists of all potential exchangeable means of satisfying human wants. So accumulation of valuable economic resource. Accumulation of valuable economic resource that can be measured in terms of either real goods or money value. That is called wealth, right? So value of all assets of worth owned by individual, that is individual wealth, by a community, it is community wealth, by a company, you can say as a community wealth, or by a country, country wealth, right? So wealth is accumulated assets. Individual assets means individual wealth means what? Accumulated assets that individual possess. Community wealth, accumulated assets that are which a particular community possess. That is the meaning of wealth. Meaning of welfare. What do you mean by meaning of welfare? So meaning of welfare is nothing but many associations. Child Welfare Association, Labor Welfare Association, Community Welfare Association. So there are so many associations are taking care of the welfare of a particular group of people. Okay. So welfare is measured in the form of or considering the factors of real income, job satisfaction, employment prospects, leisure time, environmental air pollution, happiness level of individual, life expectancy or healthcare, education of individual, then cost of living, then permanent or shelter, that is called housing. These are the factors are playing major role when we measure the welfare of a particular community or individual or a labor or child. So satisfaction in all these factors will be taken to measure the welfare. Right? Welfare means what? Child welfare means what? Child Welfare Association, Labor Welfare Association. The Welfare Association take care the lifestyle of labor. Take care. Otherwise, they are concentrating to provide adequate food, adequate leisure time, adequate salary. They are opposite for exploitation of labor. Then providing education to the children of labor, or trying to provide houses for the laborers or employees. So these are the areas they are concentrating to take the association for particular community or employees or labor. So this is a welfare. Then what do you mean by scarcity? Scarcity means what? Scarcity is nothing but a gap between unlimited wants and limited resource. That gap is called scarcity or deficiency. The basic economic problems. That means what? A gap between limited resource and theoretically limitless wants. That the gap will be taken as a scarcity or deficiency. Okay. Then economics nature and scope. What do you mean by nature of economics? Economics is considered based on its nature. Economics is considered as arts and science. Because when you are asking, and or when we are asking you to give the answer whether economics is art or science, what will you say? You will answer economics is both art and science because we can see one by one. Why do we say economics is science? It is considered as a science. The reason is economics is based on systematic study of knowledge or fact. The subject economics, it is study about the systematic study of knowledge. Then it is study the relationship between causes and the effect in a business. Right? First, they are finding the effect, demonetization, and then price increasing, cost of production is increasing, the company is getting consecutive losses. That is the effect. What is the causes? What is the reason behind this effect? The reason behind the demonetization to reduce the or to ban the corruption, to ban the black money. Okay, consecutive losses in a business. Reason or causes may be consecutive losses is a effect, right? What is the reason behind the effect? Giving or investing more amount for advertisement, increasing the cost of raw material, or giving more discount to attract the new customers, or some outdated product that we are concentrating to manufacture our outdated product. So the consecutive losses, the reason behind the consecutive losses are, we said, and capable of measuring and based on fact. Then the reason for when I explaining the economics is science. So it is having ability to forecast about the future. All the laws are universally accepted. All the laws are tested and based on the experiment. It is a scale of measurement, right? We are explaining or we are giving the concept or statement. Economics is a science. Okay. Then why do we say economics is science? Economics deals with correlationship between causes and effect. Economics uses the concept of mathematics, statistics, then the concept of psychology. These are the subjects are applied in economics. So economics is a science. Then economics is art. Why do we say economics is art? So economics is said as a art. Reason is even though everyone is given the paint for art, everyone cannot give the complete picture. Right? We are giving brush and paint all stationaries for creating one art or one picture. But will they draw the right picture? Will they give the uh, complete or quality picture? It's not possible. Only few or one or two members can use the stationery in correct way and they can give the exact quality picture, creative picture. That is art. Even though we are having all type of tools, we cannot use the tools in right way at right time to improve the company. Right? So applying the scientific concept, applying statistical concept in a regular business to solve the problems of the business, right, is one type of art. We are having knowledge of management, knowledge about statistics, knowledge about psychology, but everyone cannot apply in exact way. Only few can apply, right? So playing and taking right decision and taking the company to the right direction is one type of art, even though everyone is having the knowledge. So economics is both art and science. Okay. Then what is economics? We already discussed it. How people earn and spend their income to maximize their economic gain. So economics is concerned with the study of economic activities of various individuals and societies. It deals with the economic problems of the individual, business unit, society, and that of the globe. The problem arises on account of the following reason. What the reason economically problem is there means what may be the reason behind the economic problems? We know that limited resources, unlimited ones, alternative sources of resource, problem or choices. These are the problems or reason for the problems. And the definition of economics, organization being engaged in commercial, industrial, and professional activities. Economics is a subject of social science which deals with the studying of production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. So, as per the Rabin, the economic is concerned with best possible use of limited resource. We have 100 rupees as a capital in our business. How can the 100 rupees be used in effective manner? We are having many alternative choices. Which one we are going to select is depends on our knowledge, our experience, right? Selecting best alternatives and investing the limited resource to gain to the maximum level is economics. So what do you mean by business economics? Business economics means what? It deals with application of economic law to the business problems. So application of economic laws to the business problem. The reason for application of economic concept in business is to take sound business decisions. Why do we apply economic concept in business? To take sound business decision, right? Economic is a science which deal with the application of economic theory and techniques of principles and concept to the business management. The reason is to solve a business problem and managerial problems. That is the business economics. So economics means studying the wealth, welfare, scarcity, all the things. Here business economics means economic concept and knowledge or economic concept, knowledge, principle are applied in business. So business economics. Characteristics are features of business economics. What are the features of business economics? Business economics is a new discipline in the recent origin, highly specialized and separate branch for economics. Business economics is microeconomics in nature. Business economics is normative. It gives a solution to the business problems. It helps for taking decisions in the management or in the business. It deals with the economic behavior of the firm. Then business economics also study about macroeconomics like gross national product, gross domestic product, national net production or product, inflation. These are the concepts also are studied in business economics. What are the difference between business economics and economics and business economics? Economics is a wide concept. Business economics is narrow and limited. Economics is concerned with the body of a principle. Business economics is the application of economic theory in business. Economics deals with micro and macro. Business economics deals with only microeconomics. Here, economics is based on number of assumptions. In business economics, it deals with application. So it is not assumption, it is totally concerned with the application of theory. So economics discuss general economic problems. Business economics deals with only the business problems. Okay, these are the difference between business economics and economics. Scope of economics. Scope of business economics. Some important topic covered in this subject are objective of the firm, consumption analysis with a special emphasis on demand analysis and forecasting, production and cost analysis, pricing decision policy and practice, capital management, marketing structure. These are the scope or characteristics. Here, under the scope of business economics, we deal with microeconomics, macroeconomics, then it deal with economy of the firms, then managerial economics, normative and positive economics. Difference between micro and macroeconomics. Micro is a small, macro is a large part. Micro is now discussing about individual units. Here, macro is a whole economy. Micro is a partial picture of economy. Macro is a total picture of economy. It covers, micro covers a limited area. Macro covers wider area. Micro economics, it gives warm size in the view of economy. Here, macroeconomics gives us a bird's eye view of economics. Significance of microeconomics. So microeconomics already we discussed here. The microeconomics topics, it covers only the economic level of business. It explain about price determination, allocation of limited resource to improve the company. It has relevance in business decision making. It serves as a basis for prediction. Then microeconomics teaches area of economizing. It is useful. Microeconomics is very useful in determination of the economic policy of the government. It is a basis for welfare economics. It explains phenomena of international trade. These are the significance of microeconomics. Scope of business economics, where the business economics is having demand or that is a scope. Business economics is having scope to measure demand analysis and demand forecasting, and it is used for cost analyzing or cost analysis. Business economics deals with output analysis and pricing policy. Because of business analysis or business economics, it study about cost of production, production possibility, opportunity cost, then economic profit and accounting profit. So it gives ideas or it gives suggestion regarding pricing policy, output analysis, then profit management, how to whether the same profit should be maintained or we have to improve the profit level. Then capital management, macroeconomics. So what are the importance or significance of business economics? Business economics always useful to the finance minister. Business economics useful for to the minister of planning. It is useful to the banker. And business economics useful for the union leaders, businessmen, statesmen. So these are the uses of business economics. Already we said normative economics and positive economics, a difference. What is normative economics? Under the scope and nature of business economics, we have taken micro, macro, positive, and normative. So normative economics is relating to find out and prescribing certain course of action to achieve certain social goals. It focuses on the welfare of the people and how best can be achieved. They also focus on what ought to be in future. That is a normative economics. Then positive economics is nothing but it is opposite of normative economics. Normative economics gives judgment, but positive economics deals with things as they are. It tells about what things are to be. It tells the method of realizing economic ideas. Economics study the evil effect of society and a suggestion for removal. So these are the positive economics. Right, these are points we discussed already. So production possibility frontier. What is the production possibility frontier? So PPF economic actually shows or it shows trade-off between two products. This shows how a company can use a limited resource to produce two products. So PPF explain about the production of two products with the limited resource. Each point of curve represents most efficient way of using a resource to produce a tablet and smartphone. Tablet is one type of product, smartphone is one type of or another type of product. There are two type of product they are taking to produce. But resource may be 10 lakhs. So having 10 lakhs, we have to produce smartphone and tablet. How many units of tablet, how many units of smartphone we are going to produce having the investment of 1 lakh or 10 lakh rupees. That is the points we are explaining here in graph. X and Y. X axis product A, Y axis product B. Product A is a smartphone, product B is you know uh, smartphone and tablet. So here point A, B, C, D. There are 4 points. How much resource you are having? Resource is limited. 10 lakh rupees you are having or using the 10 lakh rupees, we can produce two type of a product. But how many units in tablet? How many units in smartphone? That is the question. In case 5 units of smartphone, 5 unit of tablet, you wants to manufacture or produce. That means what? 10 lakh rupees you are having as a capital. Out of 10 lakh, only you are going to use 1 lakh rupees to manufacture 5 units of each. That means what? What do you understand? It is insufficient because you are having resource 10 lakh, but you want to utilize only 1 lakh. You are not efficiently using your investment to make profit. So it is the point C is insufficient. Point D, 2 lakh unit of tablet, 5 lakh unit of smartphone you want to manufacture. The original cost may incur 25 lakhs. How much actually you are having on your hand? The company is actually having only 10 lakh. But your budget is 25 lakh means what? It is impossible. Point D is impossible. Point C explain about the firms is not utilizing the available resource in perfect way. Point D, the firm wants to or the firm plan to the amount more than what it has. So point D is impossible, point C is insufficient. Which one point you can take? There are two efficient point are there. The firm can select point A or point B. Point A is 500 unit of smartphone, 700 unit of tablet. Here point B 800 unit of tablet, 200 or 500 unit of smartphone. There are 2 points. Point A explain about more units of A, less units of product B. Then option B, less unit of product A, more unit of product B. There are two efficient points or alternate, two choices are there. There are best two choices. But which one you can select? You can select A or B. But you will select depends on the demand for your product in the market. You are having more demand for your product B in the market means you can select option B. Otherwise, you have more demand for product A in the market, you can manufacture more units of product A, less unit of product B. So these are the options, best choices to utilize the available resource in effective way. We are handling or we are taking the PPF graph. So the PPF explain about two best efficient choices that the business can take to utilize their available resource in efficient manner. That graph is called PPF. Here we have given the chart. Okay. The model of product possibility frontiers efficiency. There are 3 points we said: efficiency, inefficiency, and uncertainability. Inefficiency, we already discussed about point C. Efficiency, point A and B. Unattainability, point D. So 4 points we had taken to explain about the graph, right? That is here. It is given here. Meaning of accounting profit and economic profit. What do you mean by accounting profit? Accounting profit is nothing but total income minus explicit cost. Explicit cost means what? The cost which is actually incurred to meet out the cost the firm has taken out from the pocket and given to the party. Actually, expenses incurred and spent are given. Money was given. That is explicit cost. So accounting profit is nothing but total income minus total expenses. Expenses means explicit expenses. Actually, the amount if you have given, that only will be taken to record as a expenses. That is accounting profit. Balance will be taken as a accounting profit. Then economic profit. What do you mean by economic profit? Economic profit is calculated based on total income minus explicit expenses, then implicit expenses. In the accounting profit, explicit expenses only was taken. Here in economic profit, implicit expenses also has been taken. Reason is implicit cost means what? What do you mean by implicit cost? So implicit cost is nothing but the cost incurred for the business, but you have not actually given to the person. For example, you are running a business in your own building. Will you give any rent to the third party? You will not give any rent because that's belongs to you. That's your building. Then vehicles used for your business, your own vehicles, two, three vehicles or one vehicles you are using for your business. You are not taking any, you know, uh, you are not giving any amount. If you have taken on a rental basis, you have to give some amount fare you should give. So it's your own vehicle. You are not showing any amount for the vehicles in your account. You are not showing the rent for your own building. You are not showing any rental amount for your instrument used in your business. So these are the expenses are incurred, but you have not given any amount. You have not showed in your books of accounts also. But here to calculate economic profit, we are taking both implicit cost and implicit expenses and explicit expenses. So from the total income, we are deducting implicit expenses and explicit expenses. Balance only will be taken as actual economic profit. Here difference given implicit and explicit economic profit and accounting profit. Economic profit, you know that. What do you mean by economic profit? Total income minus implicit expenses plus explicit expenses. Here accounting profit means the total income minus explicit expenses. There is a difference between economic and the accounting profit. Incremental marginal cost concept. What is incremental marginal concept? Incremental marginal concept. The marginal concept analyzes the effect of a single increasing the one single unit. So marginal cost means additional cost incurred for every additional unit. That is called marginal cost. We are deciding to manufacture 10,000 unit. In case we wants to manufacture 10,001 or 10,100 unit, additional unit means what? 1 or 100. 10,100 you are deciding means how much additional cost incurred for the additional of 100 units. When you are comparing the cost per unit, your budgeting, manufacturing budget is 10,000 unit you are going to manufacture. So the cost, total cost incurred by total number of unit is 10,000. What is the cost per unit? The other side, 10,100. So additional units are 100. Additional cost by additional unit. How much cost incurred for every additional unit? That will be measured whether we have to stop till no, we have to stop and run only 10,000 unit or we can increase 10,000 to 10,100 unit. So what is uh, the point where we can stop the increment of units? That is a marginal cost. A marginal cost is helpful for business people regarding production budget, whether we can increase the number of unit or we can follow the standard number of unit or we can reduce where we have to stop, how many units we can manufacture. Right? These are the concepts discussed here in marginal cost. Whether we have to increase the production unit or we have to follow the same number of unit or we have to reduce the number of unit, which is a best convenient, which level will give maximum profit to the manufacturer. That point will be discussed based on marginal concept. PPF also we discussed. Discounting, time discounting factor. Time discounting factor simple. Already we discussed in class also. Determining present value of a payment or stream of a payment due to be received in future. So discounting factor tells about a concept where future events are valued less than the present amount. Today's 1 rupee is value, more value than tomorrow's 1 rupee. Today's 1 rupee is more value than the same rupee after 10 years. Because if you received 1 rupee today, if you receive 1 lakh rupees today, instead of receiving the same amount in 2 years later. So within these 2 years, you are having many choices or many alternative choices to increase 1 lakh to 1 lakh 10,000, 1 lakh 15,000 like. So today's 1 rupee is always more value than tomorrow's 1 rupee. That concept is discussed here, discounting, time discounting concept. Okay. Okay, these are the concepts we have discussed. Here, cost efficiency measure, the last topic in unit number 1. Cost efficiency measure and entity ability. Cost efficiency measure is taken to follow the level of output, minimum possible cost, which level or the level at which we can fall. Because we have to decide minimum possible cost. One is if you increase the supply, if you see the graph, you can understand. If you increase the supply, you have to invest more amount, but you cannot sell because supply means what? Demand is 10,000, but you are 15,000, you are supply. 5,000 additionally manufactured and 5,000 units available in the market, but there is no chance to sell. In case 5,000 unit only you are going to manufacture, demand for your product is 10,000. So in market, you can sell 10,000 unit, but you have supplied only 5,000. That means what? You failed to use the situation to make or to earn the profit. So the point where demand curve and supply curve meeting each other, that point is a equilibrium point. That point only gives best minimum possible cost. That is discussed in the concept of cost efficiency. These are the topics we have covered in unit number 1, right? So, unit 2 we can discuss in the next video lecture and the next online session. Okay, thank you. Till now, we have discussed about various topics in unit number 1. In the next video lectures, we will start a unit number 2. Until then, Dr. Kumarasamy. Thank you.